Hey, what's up, world, and welcome to episode 128 of the Take One podcast. I am your host, August C. Jones, and so today we're going to talk about this weekend. So this whole episode is really going to be about Avengers again. Avengers came out with a big draw over the weekend, so this episode is going to be mainly pertaining around the box office, and just majority of the time I'm going to be talking about Avengers and just everything that's surrounding it and all of that good stuff or whatever. I'm going to have my review as well as my episode 3 of the ST podcast out for Avengers Endgame or whatever. I'm going to try to put it out today. If not today, it's going to be out tomorrow, so be looking out for that. I needed a little bit more time to kind of get my thoughts together to make sure that I get everything that I want and need to say about this movie. And so without further ado, let's jump into the box office segment. And so if you guys, this is your first time listening and don't know how to do the box office segment, this is really how I do it. Every week I make predictions on what movies will win the weekend, will be in the top 5. And so last week I made a prediction for this past weekend, and so I'm gonna get through that, as well as I'm gonna let you guys know what won the weekend, if I was right, or if it corresponded or whatever. Then I'm going to talk about the movies that are coming out this weekend, and then I'm going to give my predictions for this current weekend. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. So my predictions for last week, that I basically knew Avengers Endgame was going to take the number 1 spot. That was a no-brainer. I didn't even have to think about that or question it in any type of way. The Curse of La Llorona, I picked that was going to come in at number 2, Shazam at number 3, Breakthrough at number 4, and Captain Marvel was going to round off the top 5. Little did I know, or I should have put it, basically I should have thought about it, because it happened the same thing with Black Panther around this time last year with Infinity War. But I was right with Endgame taking the number 1 spot, because over the weekend it broke the record, being the first movie in cinematic history to have the largest debut ever with 350 million over the weekend. That is just bonkers ever. And then not only did it break that record, it broke the record as the fastest movie to reach $1 billion, which after the end of this weekend, worldwide, it reached $1.2 billion already over the weekend. That's nuts. That is crazy nuts. And I'm going to get back to that. But coming in number 2 was Captain Marvel over the weekend, doing $8 million. I should have basically put that into perspective. I should have thought about that, because it happened last year, like I said, with Black Panther. So, yeah. Number 3 was The Curse of La Llorona with $7.5 million. Number 4 was Breakthrough with $6.3 million. And rounding off the top 5 is Shazam with $5.5 million. And so, basically, the stuff that I'm going to be talking about is Avengers. Oh, my gosh. So, just to get it out the way, I'm going to talk about Captain Marvel first, and I'm going to get into the Avengers stuff. But, yeah, so, Captain Marvel, I should have put it back in there. I don't know why I didn't think about that. I just thought that it was going to round it off or whatever, but it didn't dawn on me that a lot of people are going to watch the whole 22 films or whatever, and I'm guessing that's going to count within the box office of Captain Marvel, of putting it back up, knocking it back up a few spots or whatnot, as well as there are people that are watching it on their own time and then going to the movies to watch Captain Marvel right before they watch, Endgame. So, and just a lot of people I guess they feel like they have to watch Captain Marvel before they watch Endgame and everything else. So it should have dawned on me that this was going to probably move up a couple more spots. More than likely, after this weekend, it's not gonna be a number 2. I can tell you that it's not gonna be a number 2, especially with the it's making what was it? It was $8 million. No, it went back to number 2, and it's only for one weekend. And after the movies come out this week, this weekend, it's not gonna be a number 2, but I mean, I should have put it up there, but that was one of the things that stuck out to me. But the main thing that stuck out to me was Avengers. Now, so I'm not going to give any spoilers. I'm not going to talk spoilers or anything like that. I'm going to have a specific podcast, which I call the ST podcast. I have the first 2 episodes up, which I am in the first episode talking about Captain Marvel, which is a lengthy one. I'm going to try not to let Avengers 1 do it. I probably might do it in several parts. That way, you get a little bit here, a little bit there. But yeah, so the first episode is Captain Marvel, and the second episode is me talking about the movie Us. So go ahead and check those out. The link is in the description below to check that out. But yeah, I'm not going to talk spoilers about it. I'm just going to talk about everything that's surrounding it. And yeah, I think I had some doubts. I'm very optimistic about it, because if you can look back to me talking about Aquaman and just movies like Captain Marvel and stuff, I was very optimistic about them reaching the numbers that they were going to reach. I didn't know that Captain Marvel was going to reach $1 billion. Don't I ain't gonna put that out there, but like, I knew it was gonna touch $1 billion, because I didn't know. I knew it was gonna do really good. I thought that the stuff surrounding it was going to kill it, or bring it down, but it didn't. And like, as well as Aquaman, I knew Aquaman was gonna touch $1 billion. If it didn't, it was gonna get close. So I was like, really, kind of on with them numbers. But when it came to not Infinity War, but when it came to Endgame, I think I was kind of with everybody else. Like, I wanted it to touch 3 million or 300 million. I wanted to touch 300 million to open the weekend. But I was just kind of thinking, because everything was kind of going against it. I mean, hey, everything going forward. But as far as like just the showings, because it is 3 hours, it's going to take, and it's 3 hours. It's 3 hours. That's with like the, end credits and everything else. So it's 3 hours and 2 minutes. Plus you got to tack on, the pre-show and then trailers beforehand. So the movie won't actually get started till maybe about 20-30 minutes later, from the advertised time. So you're spending 3.5 hours of your life in a movie theater. So that's taking up that time to where you could have probably showed another screening within that. So it's cutting down the screenings that it could show per day. And certain theaters like AMC, I believe, just AMC, or maybe with some other theaters as well, they're overnight. So whereas like you can watch it, you can find the time in the morning, like in the morning. I mean, like 2 a.m. and stuff like that, 6 a.m. stuff like, just if you couldn't get a later show, you can go ahead and probably get those, especially in IMAX, because that was the best way to do it, because you get to pick your seat. But in any case, it was just, that was kind of going against it, just the time length, because you wouldn't have enough screenings up in the, in each day to, have a lot of money going toward in their pockets, because that's limited screenings per day. So you're not going to be making as much money as you would if it was like maybe 2.5 hours, maybe even a little bit less than that. So yeah, that was going against it. And then you got people also looking at the runtime going like, I don't know if I'm going to go see it. And then, you got people that even if they do see it the first time, they're not going to do a repeat viewing, because a lot of people don't want to sit in the theater for 3 hours. Don't care if it is an Avengers movie. They don't want to sit and spend that time. And there's certain people that just skip out on it regardless. Like, I'll just wait till they come out on DVD. And certain people like, I'll just catch it on the Fire Stick or something like that. So you got those people. My father is one of them. When he heard that it was 3 hours, he said, nah, he's going to wait till it just come out on DVD, because that's when he's going to like watch it or whatnot. Because he's odd. He likes to watch a movie, won't put it on pause. He'll go to the bathroom, do something else, probably leave the house, go to the store or whatever, and he'll just come back without pausing it. So he'll constantly rewatch a movie, rewatching it probably about 10 times in order to see the actual whole film in its entirety, because he's then walked down on certain parts or whatever, because he doesn't like to pause. But in any case, so yeah, like when it comes to like that, you're gonna have people that's not going to watch the film just because of that. And then just that can hurt it. That really can hurt it. And even though it has a lot going against it, it's the last movie in the saga. And I'm going to get on like it's not the last movie in Phase 3, which I was dumbfounded to realize, like, to find that out, like, really? But in any case, so yeah, there was a lot going against it with that, and there's other variables that you probably can point out and all that stuff, and it was just, people just opting out to kind of like either they didn't get their tickets or they just opt out just voluntarily to, just maybe catch it next weekend or, when everything really dies down and then watch it from that point on. And, that can take the money away from it. It didn't. It truly didn't. This movie made more money than any other movie in cinematic history, and that is like crazy. And when you look at it, Marvel, Disney, let me just say Disney because that is the mother company, has 2 of their movies. No, not that I actually think about it. They have 3 movies in the top 5, because Breakthrough, because of the acquisition of Fox, that technically is a Disney movie now. So that's in the top 5. And then you have both Captain Marvel and Avengers Endgame in the number 1 and number 2. So yeah, you have 3 Disney movies in the top 5 box office right now. And that's nuts. But even just taking out Breakthrough, you have 2 movies out of the Disney lot that have made them $2 billion. Over $2 billion. And one of them is well on its way to being $2 billion. So both of them together is going to form a $3 billion profit from this movie. And that is just nuts. That just shows you the dominance so far of Disney this year. And we still have yet, think about it, we still have yet Lion King, which is going to do gangbusters. And that's just saying it lightly. Then on top of that, you have Toy Story 4. That's more than likely is going to get close to $1 billion, if not going to touch $1 billion. And then, and I might be like skipping over some like titles or whatnot. I don't know what Aladdin's going to do. But then you also have Episode 9. A sure $1 billion movie. I don't know if it's going to do more than Endgame, but that movie is going to do some money. It's going to make some money. So you have 3 movies that have yet to come out that are more than likely, at least 2 out of 3 of them are sure $1 billion movies. So yeah, like Disney, they're trying to take over this year. I see them. They're trying to take over. But yeah, so this movie over the weekend did $350 million. I myself, as well as a lot of people, did not expect it. This was just crazy. It had a lot of stuff going against that fact of it making that much money. A lot of people didn't even think it was going to make 300. I thought that if it did, it was probably going to be a little bit over. It far exceeded my expectations as far as the financial part of it goes. 350 million, I was shocked to see that. And then to learn that it did like 800 something million overseas, which brought it to 1.2 billion. That shocked the hell out of me. And not even that, but I didn't even talk about this last week, but it did more in China than any other movie that was released in China, because what was it? I think it was Troll Hunter or something. I have to look. But yeah, it was a movie that came out in China that was the highest grossing one, or one of the highest grossing ones, and it even outbeat that. And I'm just like, man, because I think that movie did like maybe like 59 or something million or something of that nature. And this movie came out and did, I think, over 100 million over there. And yeah, this, man, that just shows you the cultural, what is it, just span of these movies. That just shows what it does. And it just, man, I'm just so astounded by it. Like, I believe no one else even thought that this movie was gonna do it. Probably had like a few people thought like, or not even just thought, but maybe hoped that it was going to do it, and it did it. It far exceeded expectations, and it's well deserved. It's well deserved. But I also just came to find out recently this weekend is that I know a lot of you probably are shocked to know that even though I can't, well, okay. So basically, I'm trying to figure out how to say this without spoiling. Okay, so Endgame is the end of the Infinity Saga. That's something that has been advertised. That is the end of the Infinity Saga. Because, yeah, basically, if you look at the trailers, it has been advertised. Constantly advertised, like, everything must come to an end. Tony Stark even says it up in the trailer, like even the end is part of the journey or something like that. So that's no spoiler. That's no spoiler. So yeah, so this movie is literally the end of the Infinity Saga. All 22 films wrapped up into one Infinity Saga. Everything is about that. So that's no secret that everything is going to end. It's just finding out how it's going to end. That's the spoiler, or that's what you need to find out. But and knowing that Spider-Man Far From Home, which is set to come out July 5th this year, is the end of phase 3. We have a complete end, which is odd when you think about it. Odd as hell. Which is the end. Endgame is the end of the Infinity Saga, which is 99% of the films in the whole phase, the whole 1 through phase 3, in the whole Infinity thing or whatever, or just 1 through phase 1 through phase 3. It's like all 22, like Endgame is the end of those, but yet Far From Home is literally the literal end of all the phases. Like that is the last movie, 23 movies, and that is the last movie. That's odd as hell. That is odd. And I take it. I haven't seen Far From Home. I don't know what their ideas going into it, actually like, structuring the story of like this movie has to come after Infinity, or not Infinity War. I keep back to say it. But Endgame and everything else. I don't know the structure of it. I haven't seen Far From Home. I don't know how it is, because that probably could be a proper end to it, or it could just probably be another MCU film, and it really is like, okay, yeah, end of phase 3, okay, whatever. But I feel like just with the way that if the Endgame wrapped up, I felt like that should have been the end. That literally should have been the end of not only the Infinity Saga but phase 3. And so when you look at all the phases leading up to Far From Home now, it's like that's the only oddball. It's like, yeah, Far From Home. Like, we're all, it's weird. Like, if you can make every single 22 film, into a person, you will have 22 people in, like, the same group that all have a connection and all this stuff. I mean, don't get me wrong, Far From Home have a connection, but they're all, like, wearing the same, basically, members-only t-shirt. And it all says like in Infinity Saga, and like, yeah, we probably Infinity Saga, blah, blah, blah. And then Far From Home is just sitting over there like, yeah, hey guys, like, can I join you? And they were like, no. And Far From Home is like, okay. And then like they all leave and after, just whatever. And then he has to like sit there and like sweep up and, close the door and lock it and be like, yeah, this is the last time we're going to see this building, and just walk away. That's how it seems. I don't know. Like, it's so weird. It's like, I would have worn all of the people with the members only jackets, or the members only shirts that says Infinity Saga that all leave at the same time, and them all to say bye. But it's like, damn, y'all leaving Far From Home there to clean up and sweep up everything and lock the door and stuff like that. Like, that's just kind of bogus. Like, I don't know. It just seems so weird to me. I just had to put it out. It just seems so goddamn weird to me that Far From Home is the last film in these phases that wraps. Basically, it's like a double wrap. You have Endgame wrapping up the Infinity Saga, and then you have Far From Home wrapping up all the previous 3 phases. that's saying that this is the end. We're going to something new. I don't know. I just found it was just like weird as hell. But on one note, if you haven't seen Shazam or Captain Marvel yet and stuff, or Endgame, you have 3 comic book movies. And if you care for, Hellboy, you have 4 comic book movies that you can see within a week if you have time on your hands and money to spend in a day. $5 Tuesday is tomorrow. So, but yeah, I mean, this is a awesome time to be a comic book movie, superhero movie fan, and you have 4 movies to choose from that you can watch. And to me, I found enjoyment out of all of them. And maybe I should do a video of which one I found to be the better film. Or, I found more enjoyment or whatever. But, I don't know. Anyway, but, yeah, those are just my thoughts on the box office and stuff. This would have been the longest box office segment. But let's get off of that. Oh, yeah, and maybe one more thing before I forget. So, there was a story about a guy who, and I'm going to just talk about this real quick. A story about a guy who got beat up by moviegoers because he spoiled, Endgame for them. And all I have to say to that person, because I don't want to condone violence. But at the same time, you gotta think, it's intense. You're not gonna walk into a fire and throw gasoline around, or you're not about to, basically that's a good analogy. Like, if you're walking into a burning building, it's fires all around, it's raging, ready to get put out, and you walk in there with gasoline pouring it everywhere, like, what you gonna expect? The fire isn't gonna just die. No, it's going to expand. If you're walking into a crowd of people waiting to see Endgame, that wants to see how it ends, that doesn't want it spoiled, and you say spoilers, you got to expect somebody is gonna give you a left and a right hook. It's like, and if it's not one person, it's gonna be several people. Like, that right there is stupid. Now, them beating them up, I don't know. I truly don't know. I probably wouldn't have joined, but I think at that point, let's say that I am in line. I haven't seen Infinity War, Endgame yet. Haven't seen Endgame. And somebody yelled out a spoiler, I would be pissed. But at the same time, somebody, like, if 5 people come out the line and just start whooping dude, I don't think I would have minded. I think at that point, I would have been so pissed, I would have just been, like, pulling out my phone, recording it. I probably would have just not cared. I probably would have been rooting for them. Like, just recording it and saying, world star, and stuff like that. And because it's just it's something that's just something that you just don't take away from people. It really isn't. Y'all already know my stance on just spoiling movies. I hate spoiling movies. I even, like, when I'm talking movies with people, like I was just talking movies today, matter of fact, Endgame, with people at work, and some people didn't hear it. If you haven't, or you haven't seen it or whatever, and if you haven't seen it, I'm about to be very cautious on how I speak about it. I'm going to talk really vague about how I felt about it. Like, if the movie ends a certain way, I'm going to just say, like, I like the way it ended. It ended the way it should have. Or I didn't like the way it ended. I felt like it could have ended a different way, or something like that. I'm going to be very vague about it. You're not going to know exactly what I'm talking about. You're just going to know how I felt about how it ended, or not even just how it ended, but just certain scenes, or just how certain scenes hit me in the movie. I'm not going to talk major. I'm not going to give out names. I'm not going to give a hint to if somebody dies, if somebody has a surprise appearance up in the movie, or just whatever. I'm not going to say anything of that nature. And don't, this isn't spoilers or anything like that, because I haven't said anything. But it's just, I hate spoilers. I truly hate it. Even if it's a show that I probably won't watch till 5 years from now, I still don't want to know what happens, because when I watch it, I want that shock value. I want that I want to go into there not knowing what's going to happen and just be like, oh my God, that's crazy. I want to feel invested to the point where it's like I'm not expecting, oh, that character is going to die in season 3. I just don't like it. But it's just, I truly don't like getting spoilers, and I don't like giving them. Unless you just truly don't care, then I'll talk about it. But, and you have to literally tell me that you don't care. Even then, I'm hesitant. But then, I'll eventually say it. But it's like I'm not about to just go ahead and just give out spoilers to anybody and all that stuff. So if, with that, I'm very cautious about it. I'm very, very cautious. And you guys didn't hear it, but I'm glad I don't record this live, because when I was talking about this, I was about to mention something that could have potentially basically been a spoiler. And I had to stop recording and do it over again. You won't hear it. But yeah, I had to stop it and just catch myself. And I felt like this chill through my body, oh, I'm glad I didn't record this. But that's how much that's how much I feel about spoilers and giving them out. I want people to have the same feeling I do. And so when I hear a story like this, it's like, I don't know, I felt like double. I don't support violence or whatever against a person. Because, at the end of the day, it's just a movie. It is just a movie, logically. And, me, as I've been talking about this movie, you're probably like, yeah, but whatever. At the end of the day, logically, you can agree with me. It is just a movie. The world is not going to end because you know the ending of it. Your feelings may change. You may be pissed, but weeks from now, you're not going to be as pissed. Maybe years from now, you'll probably be like, yeah, I was pissed as hell at this and that, but your world is not about to end. You're not about to go into a deep depression, drinking beer all day because you know the ending of Endgame. Or just any other movie that you want, because you know the ending of episode 9. You know how it's going to end. Your world is not going to end. You're not going to jump off a ledge. You're not going to slit your wrist and throat and jump off a bridge and just whatever and hang yourself. So, you're not about to do that. At the end of the day, it's just a movie, but it is being respectful and courteous, being courteous to your fellow moviegoers. You may not care to know the spoilers, but the person on your left and right may care. And you never knows what happened. You walk into a theater of people that want to see how this ends, and you blurt out spoilers, you better be prepared to suffer the consequences. You better be prepared. But, hey, I just say, he probably won't ever do that again. He will not do that again. But in any case, let's move on to the movies that are coming out this weekend. So there are 4 movies coming out this weekend. One of them, I don't even know if it's going to be showing anywhere close by, but I'm still going to mention it. And the first movie is called El Chicano, and it's about an LAPD detective who, in order to take down a gang boss, must go outside the law and take justice into his own hands by resurrecting the masked street legend El Chicano, which kind of looks like a superhero-ish vigilante type movie or whatnot. It looks pretty decent, but it's very limited theaters right now. I believe it's going to have a wider release maybe later on, but it looks interesting nonetheless. And then we have the new movie called The Intruder, and it's about a couple who gets a house from a widower and end up finding out that he is sticking around longer than what he needs to and becomes a stalker and starts to interfere in their lives, which turns their happy home into a nightmarish situation, which actually looks good. Then you have Long Shot with Seth Rogen, and he plays a gifted journalist with Charlize Theron playing a politician that's well respected and influential. And come to find out, he realizes that she was his babysitter when he was younger. And so she ends up hiring him because he is very gifted in writing to be her speechwriter as she's going into trying to be president of the United States. And it's an R-rated comedy. It looks pretty decent. I may end up definitely checking it out. And then the last movie is Ugly Dolls, which is a animated kids film that's just about the rejected ugly rejected dolls or whatever at a plant, and they end up getting thrown to, I think it's like Uglyville or something like that. And it's just really about being accepted, it's one of those type of movies you can get from the trailer. It looked pretty interesting, the first trailer. The second trailer I seen for it was just kind of, it looks like it's trying to hit too hard about acceptance, but it's for the kids, whatever. But those are the 4 movies that are coming out this weekend. I do have in my eyes on my prize, The Intruder and Long Shot looks like 2 movies that I'm really, really definitely trying to see. If El Cachino, I think it may be showing somewhere around me. If I can get a screening of it, I'm definitely going to go check it out. But if I can't, then between the 3 of The Intruder, Long Shot, and Ugly Dolls, I'm more than likely going to take my son to go see. So for me, The Intruder and Long Shot, I say, I don't know, I guess it's more how I'm feeling. Right now, I am kind of feeling The Intruder more because I do like, like thriller, horrors, and stuff like that. Even the thriller can be close to more of a horror film. So I am kind of feeling that a little bit more right now. But not too much after that is going to be Long Shot. So I'm definitely going to go check those out this weekend. And those are the movies that are coming out this weekend. So let's go ahead and jump right into the weekend predictions that I have for this coming weekend. So without even no doubt in my mind, Endgame is going to continue to take the number 1 spot probably for the next 2 more weeks after this weekend. I don't know. After that, it may be all bets are off. But I feel like Detective Pikachu may end up... I think that might end up being a number... Maybe, I don't know. But in any case, yeah, so Endgame is going to be at number 1. Long Shot is going to take the number 2 spot. The Intruder is going to take the number 3 spot. Ugly Dolls is going to take the number 4 spot. And Captain Marvel is going to be bumped down to number 5. So, yeah, those are my predictions. And so now let's jump into what's new to rent, on, or stream, which is 2 movies that are coming out this week, which is Miss Bala and Serenity. Now, Serenity is, the Matthew McConaughey movie that came out earlier this year. It's not the movie that's like a, movie version of Firefly or whatnot. But I have reviews for both of those movies. You can go ahead and check it out on my channel. Check it out in the movie reviews playlist or whatnot. And yeah, that wraps up this episode, which I thought was going to be a little bit shorter, but it ended up being a little bit longer. 30-something minutes. So, hey, in any case, I'd like to thank you guys for joining me on this one. And I hope to catch you guys on the next one. Peace out. Hey, before you guys leave, make sure you hit that like button as well as that subscribe button. And you see that little bell, make sure you hit that to turn on your notifications. That way you'll be notified for anything that appears on my channel. Hope to see you guys next time. Peace out.